Thank you. So I'm going to talk about the DUNE run control. So first, what does DUNE stand for? So it's not the book, not the movie. It stands for the Deep Underground Neutrino Experiment. So it's a particle physics experiment, which is under construction in the US, and is expected to take data in 2029. I mean, to start to take data in 2029. The aim of the DUNE experiment is to discover matter-antimatter asymmetry in the neutrino sector. The way these experiments work is basically you have a very big accelerator that is located next to Chicago in Fermilab, and you smash those accelerated protons inside the target. This creates a big shower of particles, and in the end creates neutrinos that basically free stream into the Earth. And because you shoot them inside the ground, they come out, some distance away, 1,300 kilometers away in, South Dakota, where you put a very big detector to detect those neutrinos after they've traveled. So I'm going to focus a bit on the far detector. So basically it's a cavern which is 1.5 kilometers underground. You can see, well, maybe here, like the cavern that has been finished to be excavated quite recently. So it's really, really a huge detector. It's like, a couple of football pitches in there. And then we have prototypes that are running right now at CERN. So in here you can see a much smaller version of a prototype, well, much smaller detector that uses the same technology at CERN. So how do the neutrino detector actually work? So they are based on something that is called time projection chambers, where basically you have a neutral particle that comes in, which is the neutrino in this case. They interact with an argon nucleus, which is the medium of the detector. And this creates charged particles that propagate inside the medium, and they basically ionize the medium. And then you put all of this inside a very intense electric field that separates the ions from the electrons, and then read out this on the side. And when you do that, you get these kind of images that are like, so this is an image of not a neutrino interacting, but a direct electron that interact inside the detector in the proto-DUNE that I've shown before. Excuse me. And so you can see here that this is really, very detailed image. And of course, the instantaneous data rates that you get from scaling up the proto-DUNE to a very big detector is really, really high. And so we use, a data acquisition system that is, comprised of off-the-shelf hardware, basically servers and switches, really big, beefy switches and servers that are located underground in the cavern and up the shaft on the, on the surface. And yes, we use a custom software suite called the data acquisition. So this is basically some highly optimized C++ software that runs over a cluster inside, distributed. It uses all of these fancy keywords here that I'm not going to describe. And you can see here sort of the overall architecture of the system. So what's the run control then? The run control, so it's DUNE run control. It's the software that drives all of the data recording processes at DUNE. So of course, all of these are like, distributed. There's a lot of hardware, etc. Now, how do you start a process there? And how do you basically make sure that all of this is in sync such that it's able to take data? So yes, handles user interactions, because of course when you have a shifter that comes into the detector and say, right, I want to press record now, then you need to have some sort of user interface to do that. It's able to stop and start processes on the whole cluster, send command to the process to initiate data taking, archive actions, etc. And basically, Imperial is responsible for the design and the delivery of those systems on the overall DUNE UK project and DUNE project as well. You can see here the sort of the design work that we've done to this is a very simplified version of the run control. So some features of the run control, it implements a control tree. So there is hierarchical organization of the application. So some applications control other applications, which themselves control other applications. It implements a relatively complex final state machines that you can see here that basically synchronize the state of all of the system overall overall. It uses this gRPC, Google Remote Procedural Call, to communicate between over the network. And we're hoping to use containerized setups and basically Kubernetes, which is a data center scale process orchestration tool. So the user interface has been developed entirely by the RSA teams at Imperial. So in particular, Christoph, Diego, and James. And you can see here some of the screenshot of the user interface that Diego has sent me. So this is the first thing that the users and the experts will see when they start to install the detector in the underground. It's all written in Python, which is of course very good for us because we don't really talk fancy C#, etc. As physicists, and we of course need to be able to run this detector and maintain the run control for a long time. So here you go. This is the end. So the DUNE experiment will detect neutrinos and discover potential matter-antimatter asymmetry violations in the neutrino sector. Imperial is implementing the run control, and the RC team is basically delivering on the GUI and helping us with actually other parts of the run control. And then we have prototypes at CERN that already use the run control. Thank you.